Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about the number system. Basically, what is a number system? A number system defines how number can be represented using distinct symbols or the different symbols. Suppose if I want to represent a number, that number is represented by using the different symbols. So basically we have the two types of number system. One is known as your positional number system. In this symbol in this system, each symbol represents different value depending on the position they occupy in a number. It means here the position of a symbol has its significance, whereas in non-positional number system, each symbol represents the same value regardless of its position in the number. It means here the symbol does not have any significance of its position. It represents the same value regardless of its position. For example, in non-positional number system, we can say that the Roman number system may be an example of a non-positional number. For example, I can say that if I want to represent 1, then I use the symbol I or standing line 1. Or when I want to represent 2, then I use two standing lines, and if I want to represent 12, then I use the symbol x11. So these are the some specific symbols that used to represent a number regardless what is the position of that number. But when we are talking about the positional number system, what does it mean? That each position of, of a symbol indicates the significance and weight to be attached to the digit. It means it has some significance and weight of its position. We can see an example like if I want to write 15 in for a number 15, I use two symbol, that is 1 and 5. So I know that the 1 is at 10th place and 5 is at unit place. So I just represent this number with 1 into 10 plus 5 into 1. So it gives us 10 plus 5, which is equals to 15. But when I change the position, means I'm using the same symbol 1 and 5, but when I change the position, that 5 becomes at the 10th place and 1 becomes at the 1st place, then it becomes 50 plus 1, which is equals to 51. So here we can see that how the position of a symbol change the number. So here the position of a symbol has its significance, or we can say that it is having the weight attached to the digit. Now the main thing is to know what is the radix or a base in a positional number system. The radix or a base means the total number of different fundamental digits applicable to a number system. Means to represent a number in a number system, how many total number of digits we are using to represent that number is called your radix or base. So in the whole session we are going to learn about the positional number system. So here we have some commonly used positional number system. First is your decimal, in which we are using the base 10. It means that to represent the decimal number, total symbols we are using is from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is total 10 symbols we are using to represent any decimal number. For example, I write 2895.06. So this is my decimal number, and by default in a number system, if we having the decimal, the base is by default is 10. But here we can also have some number system like binary, in which the base is 2. It means here we use total 2 symbol to represent the binary number, that is 0 and 1, that is 0 comma 1. So here you just have to remember that if you have the base means that total number of symbols we are using to represent that number, and that number and that symbol lies from 0 to base minus 1. Suppose if I have 10, it means total symbol I am using is 10. But where the what are the symbols, what are those symbols? That is, it starts from the 0 and it should be the base minus 1, that is till 9. We can use this symbol in a decimal number system. In binary I am having total 2 symbols, but it starts from 0 to base minus 1, that is 1. Same way we can see if we have an octal number system, that is it having the base means total we are using 8 symbols to represent octal number, that is again from 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, that is the base minus 1. So total we having the 8 symbol and the range is from 0 to 7. So simple, we can take an example, like if I write 536.71, so this is, and I have write the base, that is it is the octal number, it is not a decimal number, because I just write the base is 8. If I do not write anything, that means by default it is a decimal number and it is having the base 10. And hexadecimal means that it is having the base 16, it means we are using total different 16 different symbols: 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. It values lies from 0 to 15, but this, in this we have to remember one thing, that in hexadecimal, instead of writing 10, we represent it by using a symbol A. When we want to write 11, that is represented by B, 12 by C, 13 by D, 14 by E and 15 by F. So here we are having the symbol 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9. Instead of writing 10, I just write A, 11 by B, 12 by C, 13 by D, 14 by E and 15 by F. So here we have to having the total 16 symbols, that is the number, the digit is from 0 to 9 and the letters is from A to F, and A stands for 10 and F stands for 15. So here we can represent the number in hexadecimal like A to B dot D3. It means here we have 10 to 11 point, then we have 13 and 3. So using these symbols we can represent a number in our number system. So basically we are using the 4 number system: decimal, binary, octal and hexadecimal. Now in this we are going to learn that how we change a one number system to another number system, or how to change one number of one base to another base. So first we will see how to convert a decimal number to any other base. For this we have some steps. The steps to convert decimal number into equivalent other base number. Maybe we can see that a number can be of integer as well as a fractional part. So we will see the steps how we convert first integer part and how we will convert the fractional part. So if we have an integer part, then what we have to do is the decimal number is divided by the new base, means whatever the number is given to you, you have to divide it by new base. New means base means that what in what other base you want to change that decimal number, that becomes your divisor, and you have to divide that decimal number with that new divisor. And when we get the question part, and again we have to divide it by the new base till up to what we have to divide it, we have to divide it until the question becomes the 0. Means when I divide a one number by the my new base divisor, I will get some question part. Again that question will be divided by the new base, again I will get the question part and the remainder part. Then again I will pick up the question and divide it by 2 till now, till up to, till I will not get the question part 0. We will continuously divide that question part and we will keep writing on the remainder part. Now the sequence of reminders r1 comma r2 r3 dot dot till the rn. So here r1 is the least significant bit, whereas rn is the most significant bit. So we have to write the, when we got when the question becomes the 0, we will get the remaining we will get the remainder part, that is r1 comma r2 comma r3. So in what way we have to write it, that we have to write it from the most significant digit to least significant digit, that is from downward to upward direction. Now if I'm having the fractional part, means I have a number which is consist of both integer as well as fractional part. We have already seen how to convert the integer part. Now how to convert the fractional part. In this what we have to do is we multiply the given fractional part by a new base, again means that in which base you want to convert that number, and write down the fractional part and the integer parts of the product in the separate columns. Now if whatever the fractional part I got, I multiplied it with the new base, then I again get some result which is consist of integer as well as a fractional part. So I just write the integer part in different column and the fractional part in the different column or in a separate column. Again I will take up the fractional part, again multiplied it by the new base till the fractional part of the product becomes the 0 or up to desired accuracy, or we can say that we can repeat this process until we get the product, yeah, fractional part to the 0, or we can do it till 3 to 4 steps. Now what we have to do is next step, the integer part of the product is written in the downward direction to find the new base number equivalent of the decimal fraction. Now what we have to do is we got the fractional part and we got the integer part. We keep on multiplying the fractional part, whereas the integer part at the last we will see the integer part in which we will write from upward to downward, that is from LSD to MSD. Now finally when we convert integer part and then we convert it fractional part, we combine both the integer and the fractional part to give the equivalent base number, another base number. So with the example we can understand it easily. Like first we have conversion from decimal to binary. Suppose I want to convert, we got the number decimal but we want to convert into the binary number system. So how we will do it? Simple. The question is find the binary equivalent of 45. That 45 is in decimal, but we want to convert into the binary form. Then how we will convert? Again we will see that 45 is consist of only integer part, so we will take the steps of integer part conversion. So as we discussed, that first step is the decimal number is divided by the new base. Here what we have the new base because we have to convert it into the binary, so we have the base is 2, so the divisor becomes the 2 because the base of binary system is 2, so the divisor is also with the 2. So first what you have to do is we create a table. In this first column is of division, second is of quotient, and third is of remainder. So in first what we do that we divide the 45 with the divisor 2, we will get the quotient part 2 and the remainder is 1. Again I pick up the quotient and divide it by the divisor 2. I will get the quotient 11 and the remainder here is 0. Again we pick the quotient part, divide it by the 2. We will get the quotient part 5 and remainder is 1. Again we pick the quotient part, divided by 2. We get the quotient 2 and the remainder is 1. Again we pick the quotient 2, divide by 2, and we get the quotient part 1 and the remainder is 0. Up till we haven't got this 0, so we continues dividing it by the divisor. So now we have 1 divided by 2. Now here we get the quotient 0 and the remainder is 1. So here we stop our calculation because now we got the quotient as a 0. So our step says that carry out the calculation until the quotient becomes 0. When the quotient becomes when the quotient becomes 0, we have to stop the calculation. Now what we have to do is we use the column remainder. Now we have to focus only on the remainder part, that I have to write the remainder from most significant digit to the least significant digit, that is from downward to upward direction. So I just write from this position 1 0 1 1 0 1, means instead of writing 1 0 1 1 0 1, actually we in this case we get the same value from LSD to MSD and from MSD to LSD. But one thing you have to remember, when you convert the integer part, you only have to write from the upward from the downward to upward direction, that is from MSD to the LSD. So first remainder is always your LSD and the last remainder is always your most significant digit. So you have to write from the MSD to LSD. So my 45 number in a decimal convert into the binary in the form of 101101. So in this way you have to convert the decimal number into the binary number. So we can see the another example, like in this we consist of both the integer as well as the fraction part. So again, when a number is consist of both integer as well as fraction part, what we have to do is first we have to convert the integer part. So I just take the 76, it is because integer part, and 0.68 is your fractional part. So as we know the steps, that first we have to do in integer part, that the integer part the number is have to be divided by the new base. So here we have to again convert into the binary number. So the base of binary number is 2, so the divisor is also 2. So I have taken the decimal number, that is 76 divided by 2. The quotient is 38 and the remainder is 0. Again we pick the quotient part, divided by 2 the 2, we get the quotient 19 and the remainder is 0. Again we pick the quotient part 19 divided by 2, again we get the quotient 9 and the remainder is 1. Pick up the 9 divided by 2, we get the quotient 4 and the remainder 1. Pick 4 divided by 2, again the quotient is 2 and the remainder is 0. Pick up the quotient 2 divided by 2, again we get the quotient 1 and the remainder is 0. Again pick the quotient 1 and divide it by 2, now we get the quotient 0 and the remainder is 1. So here we get the quotient 0, so we will stop our calculations here only. Now we'll again see the remainder part. In the remainder part, what we have said, that we have to write it from the most significant to the least significant digit, that is the upward direction. That now we write it in the form of 1 0 0 1 1 0 0. So basically you have to remember this. If you write it in the form of 0 0 1 1 0 0 1, then it will completely get wrong. So this thing you have to remember, that you have to write from downward to upward, that is from most significant to least significant. So first you have to write 1, then 0, then 0 1 1 0 and 0. Now next we look how to convert the fractional part. Again we create a table in which we have the 4 column part. One is process, second is product, third is your decimal part, and fourth one is your integer part. As we will said in the steps, that what we have to do in fractional part, that we will multiply the fractional part with the new base. Again we have to convert into the binary, so the base will be 2, so here we have to multiply with the 2. So when you multiply this number with the 2, we get the product 1.36. So it again consists of both fraction as well as integer part. So we will separate the integer part as well as the fraction part. So I just write in the decimal part 0.36. Here you do not have to write 0.36, only you have to write the part after point, that is 0.36, and the integer part is 1. Now next what you have to do is, again we will take the decimal part or the fraction part for the multiplication. We take it 0.36, again multiply by the new base, that is with the 2, and we get the product 0.72. So here the fraction part becomes 0.72, and here we have the integer part 0, so we just write it 0. Next what we have is 0.72 into 2, and again we multiplied it with the 1.44. The product we get is 1.44, so the decimal becomes 0.44 and the integer part is 1. So again we have 0.44 into 2, so again it becomes 0.88, and the decimal part is 0.88 and the integer becomes the 0. Next again we pick up the fraction part, that is 0.88 into 2, and the product is 1.76, and that is 0.76, and the integer part is 1. So what you have to remember in this fractional part, that you pick the fraction part, multiplied it with the 2, and whatever the product you got, just write into one column, that is in the product column, and then separate the integer part and the fractional part. Keep the integer part as it is and pick up the decimal part again multiplied it 2. Here we can say that the same repetition we are getting. So up to the 3 or 4 steps you show the calculation, you show the multiplication, and then you can stop. Otherwise if you get the decimal part 0, otherwise you just stop it after doing 3 to 4 steps, because otherwise it will keep continuing it. So we cannot continue it, so we just show the 4 or 5 steps how to multiply. So in this we show the 5 steps that we keep on multiplying and we get the integer part like this. Now what you have to do is that you have to write from upward to downward direction. That is, now here my what becomes the most significant digit, that is 1 becomes my most significant digit, and here the last becomes the least significant digit, because I have to write from the most significant digit to the least significant digit. So now we have, and in this fraction part you have to remember that in this you have to write from upward to downward direction. So here we have the answer is 10101, 10101. So when, so just have to remember, in integer part you have to write from the downward to upward direction, and in the fraction part you have to write from the downward to upward direction. So these 2 points you must remember, otherwise the answer will get wrong. So now next what we have to do is, because here we convert the integer part, we convert the fractional part, now we combine both the part to make it binary equivalent. So we can see that in the integer part I got the answer 1001100, so I just write it as it is, 1001100 point. Then what is the fractional part? 10101. So in this way we convert the decimal number into the binary number. So what you have to remember is, first you have to take the integer part, convert it according to the steps given. That in that integer part what you have to do, you have to follow the process of division, whereas in the fraction part you have to follow the process of multiplication. In integer you have to write it from downward to upward direction, and in fractional part you have to write the from the upward to downward direction. And after, when you convert both separately, integer and fractional part, you have to combine both the strings to make it into the binary equivalent. So this is our finally result, that this decimal number is converted into the equivalent binary number. Now next we can see that how we convert the decimal to octal. Now the base is octal instead of binary. So as the question is given that this is my decimal number and I have to convert into the octal. When we are using the octal, it means the base is 8. So when the base is 8, so the divisor becomes now the 8. Remember, when you have the binary, when you convert from the decimal to binary, the divisor becomes the 2. But when you have to convert the decimal to octal, now the base is 8, so the divisor becomes the 8. The process is same. Now again we create a table with the 3 columns: division, quotient, and the remainder part. So in this we have the, again this number consists of both integer as well as fraction part. So first we will solve the sorry, first we will solve the integer part. The integer part is 336 and my divisor is 8, because I have to convert it into the octal number. So we will do the first step, 336 divided by 8. Now the quotient becomes 42 and the remainder becomes the 0. Again pick up the quotient part, divide it by 8 and the quotient become 5 and the remainder becomes 2. Again pick up the quotient part, divided it by the 8. Now we get the quotient 0 and the remainder is 5. So we can stop this process here, because now the quotient becomes the 0. Again, now what we have to do is we have to look into, now we have to look up to the remainder part, and we have to write it from the most significant digit to the least significant digit. That is, we have to write it from the downward to upward direction, that is 5 to 0. Instead of writing 0 to 5, how we write it? 5 to 0. The process is same. Now the things changed is that now the divisor becomes 8. We can keep on dividing the number, we get the quotient and the remainder part, then we pick the quotient, divide it again by the divisor, and we will get the quotient and the remainder. We will again pick the quotient till we do not get the quotient 0. We will keep on dividing here and we get the remainder. Again we will write the remainder from downward to upward direction. Now next we see how we convert the fractional part. Again the same procedure. We create a table with the process, product, decimal part and integer part. We will pick the fractional part. What is the fractional part here is 0.36. You always have to write 0.36. Do not write only 36. Just write 0.36. So we have write 0.36 into 8. We get the product 2.88. So here 2 is the integer part and 0.88 is the decimal part. So we just write 0.88 in the decimal part and 2 in the integer part. Again we picked the decimal part or fraction part. Again multiply by it 8. Then we get the product 7.04. Here 7 is an integer part, so just write into the integer part, and 0.04 is in the decimal part. Again pick the fraction part, multiply it by 8, and then the result is 0.32. The decimal part is 3.32 and the integer part is 0. Again pick the decimal part or fraction part, multiply it by the 8. We get the product 2.56 and the decimal part is the 0.56 and the integer part is 2. It keeps going on, but we have to stop here because the multiplication will be maybe endless. So we have to show it just for the 3 or 4 steps. So here we show the 4 steps. So I got the integer part. Now in fractional part, what we have discussed, that we have to write it from the upward to downward direction. That is, now we will write it in the form of 2702. What will be the answer? 2702. Again, as we have discussed, that we will already convert the integer part, that is 5 to 0. We will convert the fractional part. Now what we have to do is we have to combine both integer and fractional part to make it octal equivalent. So we write 520 dot 2702. So this 520 is integer part and 0.2702 is your fractional part. So we convert this decimal in the octal number. The process is same, but what you have to remember, that in what base you have to change it. If you want to change it into the binary, you have to use the base 2. If you want to change it into the octal, then you have to use the base 8. Now next, how to convert the decimal to hexadecimal. Now we know the base of hexadecimal is 16. So here the divisor becomes the 16, as the base of hexadecimal number system is 16. Again the process is same. Here again we have both the integer as well as fractional part. So we will convert first integer and then fraction part. So in the division, what we do is that pick up the integer part 5210. Here the divisor is 16, so we divide it by the 16. We will get the quotient 3 to 5 and the remainder is 10. But as we have discussed, that in hexadecimal, instead of writing 10, we use the symbol A. So instead of writing 10, we will use A. Then pick up the quotient part 3 to 5, divided it by the 16. Again we get the quotient 20 and the remainder is 5. Pick up the quotient, divide it by the 16. We get the quotient 1 and the remainder is 4. Pick up the quotient 1, divided by 16. Now the quotient becomes 0 and the remainder becomes the 1. So here we stop the calculations and we again look to the remainder part. Now how to write the remainder part? Again from the downward to upward direction. So we just write it in the form of 1 4 5. Instead of writing 10, we will write A. So this you have to remember, especially in hexadecimal, that you do not have to write 10. Whenever 10 occurs, you have to write A. Whenever 11 occurs, you have to write the symbol B. So here we have 1 4 5 A. So here we convert the decimal into hexadecimal, the integer part only. So next, what you have? Fractional part. Now the fractional part is 0.24. So we take again 24, multiply it with the new base, that is the 16. We get the product 3.84. the decimal part is 0.84 and the integer part is 3. Again pick up the decimal part, multiply it with the 16, you get the product 13.44. The decimal part is 44 and the integer part is 13. But as we know that we cannot write 13, we just use the symbol D, because A 10 for A, 11 for B, C 12 for C, and the 13 for D, D for 13, sorry. So here D stands for 13. Again pick up the decimal part, 0.44 into 16, get the product 7.04. Here we have the decimal part 0.04 and the integer part is 7. Again pick up the decimal part, multiply with the 16, 0.64, the decimal is 0.64 and the integer is 0. So again we see that again instead of doing multiplication we just show the first step, that is the sufficient, and we have just stop our calculations. Now again what we have to focus now we have to focus on the integer part and how to write it. Just write it from the upward to downward direction, that is the answer will be the 3D7 instead of writing 13, because the 13 will be read as 1 3. Instead of reading it as 13 we will read it as 3137. So here we are using the symbols, that is why that it means that if we are using D here, it means it represents the number 13. So 3D7. Again we already convert the integer part, we already convert the fractional part. Now what we have to do is both combine the integer as well as fractional part to make it hexadecimal equivalent. So here we have the integer part is 145A 145A dot 3D7. So this number, decimal number, is convert into equivalent hexadecimal number. So what you have to remember is whenever question come like how to convert the decimal into the other ways, whether decimal to binary, decimal to octal, or decimal to hexadecimal, so you have to focus on the two things, that you have to solve first the integer part and second is the fraction part. In the integer part you have to do the division process, and the division is always in what base you have to change. For example, if you want to change into the binary, then you have to take the divisor as 2. If you want to change into the octal, then you have to take the divisor 8. If you want to change into the hexadecimal, then you have to take the divisor 16. Keep on dividing the number until the question becomes the 0, and then you have to write the remainder from the downward to upward direction. Next you have to solve the fractional part. In the fractional part you always have to remember, we always do the process of multiplication with the new base, that is again for the binary we use the 2 for the multiplication, for octal we use the 8, and for hexadecimal we will use the 16. Keep on multiplying and write the fractional and integer part separately in a separate columns, and take up the fractional part, keep on multiplying until the product becomes 0, or till up to the desired accuracy, or we can say that till 3 to 4 steps we will show the calculation and then we stop. And then what we have to do, we will write the integer part from upward to downward direction. After that we will combine both integer and fractional part as a single string to make it is equivalent to other base system. So this is the summary how to convert the only decimal number to other base number. In the next section we will discuss how to convert binary into other ways. For that, till now, thank you.